Hey everyone, welcome back to ChaatNChat. My name is Josh.
My name is Miguel.
And we're watching Airlift. This is our Patreon executive producer, Tidley's request. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you. And this is part 2. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet and you're wondering where can you find that,
you can go to the link in the description below and click there and watch part 1. Come back here for part 2.
Right.
Also, while you're there, check out our Patreon link because you can get early access, members polls, live streams, and you too can become an executive producer.
Right. And if you haven't yet and you like these videos, then please consider subscribing, sharing, a like button पर थप्पड़ मारो.
मैंने गल्फ ड्रेस वालों को स्कूल का नंबर दे दिया.
तब मिनिस्ट्री से कोई फ़ोन नहीं आया और ना शायद आएगा. सद्दाम हुसैन ने हम हिंदुस्तानियों को परमिशन दे रखी है कि हम कुवैत से निकल सकते हैं, लेकिन हमें ये नहीं पता कि जाना कहाँ है, कब जाना है, कैसे जाना है. इसके बारे में अगर आप कुछ मदद कर दें तो बहुत अच्छा हो.
सर वो कुवैत में जो इंडियन सिटीजन्स फंसे हैं उनके बारे में.
यार गल्फ डेस्क पर शर्मा से बात करो.
जी सर एक बार आप बोल देते तो.
कोहली, प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज वेटिंग फॉर मी.
Obviously not a high priority thing.
No, neglects it. And they're just like, yeah, it's not their problem.
इब्राहिम तेरा दिमाग खराब तो नहीं? ये बात कोई छुपाने वाली थी? अगर वो इराकी सोल्जरों को पता चल जाता कि ये कुवैती है, इसका जो होता वो होता. पूरे कैंप में सबको गोली मार देते वो लोग.
सर उसके बारे में तो नहीं सोचा था, लेकिन इसके साथ क्या करते वो सोचा.
Even worried that for his own wife and daughter, right? So
हम कुवैती नहीं है, इसका भी तो क्या सबूत है. ज़्यादातर लोगों के पास तो कागजात है नहीं. पासपोर्ट्स तो एजेंट्स के पास है.
I still think that's like the dirtiest thing to take passports. You're holding them like hostage in the country.
देखिए क्या है कि मैं ज़्यादा कुछ तो नहीं जान पाया, पर गल्फ डिवीज़न में कह रहे हैं कि आप लोग कुवैत छोड़ के शायद जॉर्डन जा सकते हैं.
Shayad? That's not enough to move like thousands of people.
इराक जाएगा. पिकनिक पे जाना है क्या?
चॉइस क्या है हमारे पास? इतनी आसानी से तूने बोल दिया, लेकिन चॉइस क्या है? इससे बेटर नहीं है मैं बगदाद जाऊं, कुछ लोगों से बातें करूं, कुछ लोगों को जानता हूं.
He's going to go to Baghdad himself?
सर आगे एक अस्पताल है, वहाँ थोड़ा काम है मेरा. अगर आपको कोई तकलीफ ना हो तो.
Looks like they really messed up the hospital too.
माफ करना सर, आपको यहाँ तकलीफ में डाल दूँ.
चल चल निकल यहाँ से.
Was he trying to do something for the woman?
Maybe he has family there, so I don't know. Oh my gosh.
How nerve-wracking,
And so many of them
man.
are like children too, like so young, and
Yeah.
they're just like using these
They
as
don't-
toys. Like,
Yeah, they think nothing of it. Oh, I accidentally shot somebody that I wasn't supposed to.
हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट है क्या कोई?
8 दिन पहले मेरा निकाह हुआ था. शाजीन नाम है हमारी दुल्हन का.
oh, she's Kuwaiti.
रात में सदाम ने अपनी बारात भेज दी. शाजीन वहाँ अस्पताल में नर्स है.
तब से हॉस्पिटल में बिजी है वो?
नहीं सर, वो अस्पताल में नहीं है और घर पे भी नहीं थी. रोज़ ढूंढने निकलता हूँ लेकिन कोई जवाब ही नहीं मिलता.
And yet he's like putting like the camp first, right?
No.
That's
मत जाओ नारन जी. It's not safe. तुम क्यों नहीं मेरी कोई भी बात समझ रहे हो आजकल?
आजकल ना मैं तुम्हें समझ पा रहा हूँ, ना तुम मुझे समझ पा रहे हो.
You know, the interesting thing is she seems to just think that she's going to stroll to the airport, get on a plane, and fly away. And I don't even think it's going to be that simple for just like them.
हम सब मिलके एक स्कूल के अंदर एक
लिया नहीं अभी तक. लीजिए ना. क्लेचा कहते हैं इसे. इराक का नेशनल बिस्किट है, समझिए.
Kleicha?
हम लोग सब एक फॉरेन कंट्री के अंदर वॉर के जोन में फंसे हुए हैं और आप इधर उधर
इधर की बातें मैं इसलिए कर रहा हूँ मिस्टर कात्याल, क्योंकि मैं जानता हूँ आप क्या फेस कर रहे हैं. अदरवाइज कोई शौक नहीं है मुझे. और हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि आपके कैंप में जो लोग रह रहे हैं वो इंडियन ही है, पाकिस्तानी या बांग्लादेशी निकले तो?
They're making it all political.
I mean, the whole thing is political.
सॉरी कात्याल साहब, मैं आपको सिर्फ क्लेचा ही खिला सकता हूँ. एक तो लीजिए.
Oh, big point. Do you think he took it or not?
No.
सर कुछ मिला?
Oh,
बिस्किट कलेचा
I guess that means he did not leave empty-handed.
Yeah, that's true, but that's symbolic on so many different levels. It's like someone's starving, you give them a little biscuit. It's like this doesn't help.
सर वैसे दिल्ली को भी क्या कोसना? यहाँ बहुत से जिनकी गिनती में 10 दिन पहले दिल्ली नहीं थी। कुवैती समझने लगे थे अपने आप।
He doesn't know he's talking about him.
Yeah.
तरती ऐसी है इब्राहिम चोट लगती है ना तो आदमी मामा ही चिल्लाता है सबसे पहले
That's true. Okay, that sums up like his whole character in that just one sentence.
इराकियों को जानता हूँ कुछ उनसे हेल्प मांगने की ट्राई करता हूँ सद्दाम के फॉरेन मिनिस्टर तारिक अजीज से मिलने की कोशिश करता हूँ
Mr. Kotyal, this is what I can do for you. There's a ship called Tipu Sultan coming from India with 10,000 tons of food and medical supplies for Iraq. Indians have been good when the whole world was against us. I can allow the Indians in Kuwait to go on that ship back home.
थैंक यू
That's a start. I mean, will they all be able to fit on that one ship, though? I mean, that was a lot of people.
Somehow or another, I think the ship is not going to make it. It's a little bit of work still to do here, folks. We can party a little bit, but
तारिक अजीज से राइटिंग में लिया आपने क्या रंजीत उन्होंने कहा आपने माना प्रॉपरली करना पड़ेगा है ना पेपर वर्क इज हाईली इंपॉर्टेंट इतना बड़ा कंपनी कैसे हैंडल करते थे आप
This guy is such a. I mean, I unfortunately know so many people like him.
ये तो गुड न्यूज़ है कटियाल साहब सी यू सून
Those two are becoming pen pals.
they are phone pals.
एक बुरी खबर है मिस्टर कटियाल यूएन ने इराक पे एम्बार्गो लगा दिया है कुछ इराक से बाहर जाएगा ना अंदर आएगा
No trading supplies.
टीपू सुल्तान को भी रोक दिया गया है अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो अब तक नहीं पहुंच पाएगा
Tipu Sultan, turn port, immediate execute, acknowledge.
उसे दुबई भेजा जा रहा है आई एम सो सॉरी
Again.
If the prime minister could have taken that to the UN and said, "Hey, actually, this isn't going to be like supplies. We'll bring back all the supplies.
Yeah, but
It's for the people."
Yeah. Yeah.
लाहौर में हमारी इतनी बड़ी हवेली थी हमें क्रिकेट खेल लो फुटबॉल खेल लो लंगड़ी कबड्डी खेल लो
जितने जाना ही नसीब न हो एड्रेस बचपन से बता रहे हैं आप मुझे
हंसला पुत्र हंसला जिसे एक पल में अपनी जमीन छोड़नी पड़े ना पुत्र वो नहीं हंसते
So his family had to leave very quickly.
Yeah, he's from the generation that would have been the partition.
Oh,
because he's from
yes.
Lahore, which
so
is
that
now
suddenly
Pakistan.
made him think a little differently about the whole thing.
Yeah.
नहीं जा रहे मंदिर तुम जाओ मुझे बात करने दो
बात करनी है क्या बात करनी है
चमचम से बात नहीं करता
चमचा किसको बोला जब से तुम इधर आया सबका दिमाग खराब कर रखा है तुमने
अरे राइटिंग में कुछ नहीं था
Wouldn't have mattered.
No, it wouldn't have. The UN wouldn't
UN
care
just
about some business
isn't
deal.
बड़े लोग हैं कैसे मालूम होगा हम सबको क्या फील होता है अरे चुपचाप क्यों खड़ा है
बड़े आदमी हैं इसीलिए चुप खड़े हैं आपकी तरह छोटी बातें करने वाले होते ना तो आपसे ज्यादा बोल रहे होते
Oh, this is her turning point.
10 दिन पहले ये मुझे और सिमू को लेके यहाँ से जा सकते थे आपसे कहा जाए ना गली के कोने तक नहीं जाएंगे आप गलती पे टोकना बहुत आसान है मिस्टर जॉर्ज
Oh, he has a name.
Oh, he does have a name, Mr. George.
Mr. George.
He has an attitude. I was going to call him Mr. Attitude.
हमारा टेका लेने के
किसी ने नहीं और मैंने तो मना भी किया था बट यू डोंट रियलाइज इन्होंने ही आपको खड़ा किया है ये कैंप सेटअप करके
And the food and all of the other people that are helping do this.
आपको अपनी फैमिली को लेके इतना बुरा लग रहा है आप ये सोचिए जिस आदमी को ये हजारों फैमिलीज के वापस जाने की उम्मीद थी उसको कैसा लगा होगा
Dude, she is clapping right now.
और कोई प्रॉब्लम्स है कि मैं और बोलूं प्लीज लेके जाइए इनको
Yeah, someone take him away before I just
Before I
destroy him
just
even more than I
get him
just
even
did.
further than I did.
I mean,
Skin
that
him
man
alive
was
and
splayed out in front of everyone.
Put him on the barbecue and just roast him and roast him and roast him.
कोहली ये तुम मुझसे डरने का नाटक बंद करो सर ये कुवैत हमारी प्रायोरिटी नहीं है
It's not Kuwait, it's your... Oof.
हमारी सरकार स्टेबल नहीं है, हम रहे या ना रहे इस बात की कोई गारंटी नहीं है।
नहीं सर,
लेकिन तुम बाबू लोग रिटायरमेंट तक हो, और अगर तुम कुछ चाहोगे तभी कुछ हो पाएगा।
यही बात आपसे कहने के लिए मैं पिछले 4 घंटे से बाहर बैठा हूँ सर।
4 घंटे हो गए? ठीक है, तुम ही लोग हैंडल कर लो।
So that's what he needed, right? Permission that he could take it over and
I
start
guess, I
sending
guess.
things.
क्या हुआ?
कैंप में खाना खत्म हुआ
तो क्या कर रहे हैं?
इब्राहिम को कुरियर ने कहीं भेजा था डॉक्स पे। कोई होल्डिंग शेड है जहाँ पे वो सुपरमार्केट के लिए सामान लेते थे। उसने वहाँ कोई जहाज का मूवमेंट देखा। कोरियन जा रहा है वहाँ। शायद कुछ मिल जाए खाने पीने का सामान।
तो तुम्हें जाना चाहिए ना?
क्यों? जॉर्ज को गाली देने का मन करा तुम्हारा?
Everyone is going to be talking about that for days.
You're a negotiator, baby. जो तुम्हें मिलेगा वो उन लोगों को नहीं मिलेगा.
What if I fail?
Then you at least tried.
Yeah.
You won't. आदत नहीं है तुम्हें.
Yeah.
ये लगता है कहीं निकलने की तैयारी हो रही है. चलना देखते हैं.
भाई साहब, आप हिंदुस्तानी हैं?
हाँ, क्यों?
नहीं, वो ये जहाज कहीं जाने वाला है क्या?
हाँ, कोई प्रॉब्लम है?
नहीं, वो आपको निकलने दे रहे हैं।
कबाड़ ले जा रहे हैं। मैं शिप का कैप्टन हूँ। हमारी कंपनी के पास कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है इसका।
इस शिप के अंदर कितने जन बैठ सकते?
बैठने को तो 500 लोग बैठ सकते हैं, लेकिन इसके बारे में सोचना भी नहीं।
पैसे देंगे तो सोच सकते हैं।
Talked in his language.
Well,
लेकिन एक भी कुवैती नहीं बिठाऊंगा मैं।
Of course. लेकिन एक जन का कितना लोगे?
$5,000। कबाड़ ले जाने का $5,000 देता है क्या कोई? कबाड़ को मैं बीच समंदर पानी में फेंक सकता हूँ, आप लोगों को नहीं फेंक सकता।
and he definitely does. Ugh,
That's
this
disgusting.
guy's a monster.
एक जन का $200 दे सकते
अरे $200 के लिए अपने जान से क्यों खेलो?
$1,00,000 के लिए तो खेल सकते हो ना? एक जन का $200, 500 जन यानी कि $1,00,000। चलो कुरी, पीछे मुड़ के मत देखना, सीधे चलते रहो।
Oh, yeah, the negotiating tactic.
ठीक है, लेकिन मेरी कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं। रात 12 बजे आदमी और पैसा लेके आ जाना, लेकिन एक भी कुवैती नहीं रहेगा उसमें।
मैंने कैप्टन से बात कर ली है। It will be $200 per person. आप लोग सब अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं। I personally feel it's a risk worth taking.
So he's getting all like the rich people. That is tough. That's not going to look
Yeah,
good.
that's not going to look good.
अमृता, सिमू को तैयार नहीं किया तुमने? पैकिंग नहीं की तुमने अभी तक?
जाना नहीं तो पैकिंग क्यों करें? Don't force me, रंजीत. मैं तुम्हारे बिना कहीं नहीं जाने वाली. और तुम ही ने कहा था ना, अब जो उनका होगा, हमारा होगा.
All right, so she's had that changing point. Because before she'd be like,
Yeah.
peace.
सीधे कहो ना तुम्हें कबाड़ से प्रॉब्लम
Yeah, it's going to be one stinky ride.
संजीव कोहली बोल रहा हूँ कटियाल साहब।
थोड़ा देर से बोल रहे हैं। कहाँ थे आप इतने दिन?
वो क्या है कि कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा था, लेकिन अभी हमारी जॉर्डन से बात हो रही है कि वो लोग इंडियंस को अमान आने दें।
अमान यहाँ से कुछ 1000 किलोमीटर दूर है और वहाँ इराक के थ्रू जाना पड़ेगा। कोहली साहब, आपने इतनी आसानी से बोल तो दिया है, लेकिन जाएंगे कैसे वहाँ?
क्या है कि हमारे पास बस यही एक ऑप्शन रह गया है। इसका भी कुछ पक्का नहीं है जी।
तो पक्का कीजिए ना। आज रात को मैं 500 लोगों को यहाँ से शिप में भेज रहा हूँ। प्लीज प्लीज आप उनको असाइलम दिलाने की कोशिश करें। मैं आपको डिटेल्स दे देता हूँ।
रंजीत, थैंक यू यार।
गुड लक। सबका ध्यान रखो।
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, these guys would still be waiting for the Americans that weren't going to go.
पहले लेडीज और बच्चे और बूढ़े, या तो सिर्फ अमीर जा रहे हैं। जो लोग जा रहे हैं उनसे चल के कोई फायदा नहीं है, और वैसे भी ये कीमत दे के जा रहे हैं। और हम लोग क्या अपना अपना सोचे? मैंने ये नहीं कहा। मैं तुम लोगों के साथ खड़ा हूं ना। जोसेफ,
यस सर।
बस को लेके जाओ। देखिए मिस्टर रेंजर, बस बहुत हो गया। अभी अमृता की बात को मैं गलत साबित कर दूंगा, पुराना वाला रंजीत कटियाल बन जाऊंगा, जो तुम लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लगेगा।
Right. He'd be the first one out.
Yeah.
कुछ कर सकता हूँ, कर रहा हूँ। Don't ask for more.
Yeah, you got to realize that he's working the best things that he can. But, you know,
And the fact he's staying back actually means a huge amount because it's like he's not leaving until the problem is done. Right, I'm sure there's like a curfew.
वैसे तो वादे के बक्के हैं आप, तो फिर चीटिंग क्यों कर रहे हैं?
चीटिंग?
आपने ही कहा था मैं यहाँ के एमिर हूँ। मुझे ही नहीं मालूम होगी कि आप 500 इंडियंस को illegally बाहर भेज रहे हैं।
How is it? He said they could go, yeah? Oh, because it's a garbage truck, not or garbage ship.
मुझे $1,00,000 चाहिए।
मैंने कहा ना मैं गलत था। आप एमिर नहीं हो। अगर आप एमिर होते तो आपको पता होता कि मैं क्या डील करके आया बगदाद से।
What deal?
एक्सटर्नल अफेयर मिनिस्टर से बात कीजिए। सब जानते हैं कि यूएस इंटरवीन करेगा तो इराक के हाथ में कुवैत नहीं रहेगा, लेकिन कुवैत से लूटा हुआ माल जरूर रहेगा और वो सारा का सारा माल स्विस बैंक में डाल दिया जाएगा। और ये काम करने के लिए आपकी गवर्नमेंट ने मुझे कहा बगदाद कॉल कीजिए और बस को जाने दीजिए, नहीं तो फौज के जैसे आपको लटका देंगे आपके प्रेसिडेंट सद्दाम हुसैन साहब।
Dang, he went like so far over his head.
Mr. Ranjit, stop. لا هذا. This is not necessary.
प्लीज खाना खा के जाइए।
तुमने उस डील के बारे में मुझे नहीं बताया।
There was no
अरे
deal.
हुई नहीं तो क्या बताता मैं।
हाँ, क्या उस मेजर को तुमने फिर?
Did you just lie?
अगर उसने क्रॉस चेक कर लिया तो?
सद्दाम से क्रॉस चेक करने का रिस्क कोई नहीं उठा सकता।
That's true.
कटियाल साहब, आपने इस वक्त
कॉलेज में सुबह होते ही अपने लोगों को लेकर जॉर्डन निकल रहा हूँ। इराकी आर्मी का तो पहले से कोई भरोसा नहीं था। जनाब, यहाँ माहौल बहुत बिगड़ता जा रहा है।
पर अभी आप लोग जॉर्डन नहीं जा सकते हैं। उनसे बात शुरू की है हमने, पर क्या है कि अभी कोई डिसीजन हुआ नहीं है।
तो डिसीजन करवाइए ना कॉलेज।
जल्दबाजी में इतने लोगों के साथ जाना डेंजरस है।
फिलहाल कुवैत में रहना उससे भी ज्यादा डेंजरस है। बस जॉर्डन का बॉर्डर खुलवाइए, क्योंकि हम लोग निकल रहे हैं यहाँ से।
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's been this many days and still there hasn't been any movement.
I'm surprised that it just.
ये कुवैत है और ये जॉर्डन है। यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक का डिस्टेंस है 1091 किलोमीटर। और उसके लिए मुझे आप दोनों की बहुत मदद चाहिए। आप जितने आदमी हो सके ले जाओ।
I can't imagine living like you know, a scared cat or dog and out in the wild and having to, you know, just scavenge for everything. You know, it's just.
But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and you're in that situation.
It just gives me the shivers, and you know, you just.
But again, that many people moving across through dangerous territory.
अब जॉर्ज की जगह तुम अटक गए।
सर मैं नहीं जाऊंगा, शाजीन के बगैर नहीं जाऊंगा। मेरा जाना जायज़ नहीं है सर। मैं ढूंढूंगा उसे यहीं रहकर।
उसे पाने की उम्मीद रखते हो तो इब्राहिम आगे बढ़ो। यहाँ रहकर तुम ये साबित कर रहे हो कि उससे मिलने की उम्मीद तुम खो चुके हो। ढूंढना है तो वहाँ ढूंढो जहाँ सारे हिंदुस्तानी जा रहे हैं।
But again, if she's Kuwaiti.
Well, we don't know. I mean,
it was a guess based on the picture and the way that one.
वहाँ का भी क्या माना है? यहाँ से बुरा नहीं हो सकता है, अच्छा ही होगा।
Mr. George.
क्या बोला?
She needs to stop talking.
इसी के यहाँ काम करता था तू?
नहीं सर।
എന്തിനാ വെറുതെ?
अरबी में बोला, कुवैती हो ना तुम?
मैं बोल रही हूँ ना।
ഞാനെന്താ വിഡ്ഢിയാ?
जॉर्ज सर, एवढा पोवा?
अब आप क्यों बस से उतर गए? सद्दाम से लिखवा के लाऊं? आपके बस का नहीं था, लेकिन मैंने पता किया। टाइम बम है बस में। प्रीति के साथ जो औरत थे, वो कुवैती है। मालूम है मुझे। किसी भी चेक पोस्ट पे इराकी आर्मी को पता चला कि हम अपनी बस में किसी कुवैती को लेके जा रहे हैं, तो हमारी जान को खतरा है। एक औरत और उसके बच्चे को यहाँ मरने के लिए इसलिए छोड़ दूं कि वो कुवैती है। मैं ऐसा नहीं कर सकता जॉर्ज।
Yes.
आपको उस कुवैती की जान का परवाह है, हम लोग की जान का परवाह नहीं है। कोई हक नहीं है तुमको ऐसे करने का। इनको बोलो बाहर आने के लिए।
सर, ये कहाँ जाएगी?
एक काम करिए, पहले आप बाहर आइए। उतरिए उतरिए।
He's gonna send it with you.
अपनी जिंदगी के साथ तो खेलने का हक है ना, कि वो भी किसी से लिखवा के लाऊं।
Mr. George.
I just can't even look at that guy without cringing now.
Yeah. Baby's like, I just want to sleep, man.
ये हमारे साथ अमान चलेगी। ये कोई थी. You can come with us in our car.
Still pretty high danger,
very
man.
risky. I mean, but if no one has papers to show, she doesn't have to speak in Hindi because even the soldiers and patrol people don't know Hindi, so it's not like, you know.
कोई प्रपोजल डाल दिया गया है. एयरफोर्स के चीफ से बात हो रही है. उन्हें एयरलिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा.
मेरे सर 1,70,000 लोग एयरफोर्स के लिए इसमें
पॉसिबल नहीं है, जानता हूँ.
तो फिर
भाई सुबह एयर इंडिया के चीफ को समन किया है. एयर इंडिया के प्लेन्स तो कर पाएंगे ना.
सर वॉर जोन में सिविलियन एयरक्राफ्ट पागलपन होगा सर.
Again, you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
And if they're willing to offer.
लोग खजूर रोजा तोड़ रहे हैं या खाना खा रहे हैं.
उनको नहीं चाहिए तो मैं दूँ.
Oh, jeez. What do you think this is, you know?
इवैक्यूएशन में आप लोगों को मदद करनी होगी.
हम कमर्शियल पायलट्स हैं सर, इंडियन एयरफोर्स नहीं.
देखिए हमारी एयर इंडिया के चीफ से बात हो चुकी है.
तो वॉर जोन में प्लेन उनको उड़ाना है या हमें? और अगर हमें मरने का इतना शौक होता तो हम एयरफोर्स ज्वाइन कर चुके होते.
देखो जी, फोर्स करने का तो सवाल ही नहीं है. जाना न जाना आप पे है सर. लेकिन जॉर्डन में 2.25 लाख लोग हमारी राह देख रहे हैं और उनकी गलती सिर्फ इतनी को हिंदुस्तानी तो हैं पर हमारे रिश्तेदार नहीं. आप उनके लिए रिस्क क्यों लेंगे इसकी वजह मैं तो नहीं दे सकता, लेकिन आप ही कोई रीज़न ढूंढ निकालो तो जान बच जाएगी उनकी.
I wonder, I mean, there must be like more pilots that like from the Air Force that could just take over. If Air India wanted to donate their planes, right? Wouldn't the Air Force have enough pilots even if they don't fly those crafts?
But, well, the problem is some of them, I mean, it's a whole lot different flying a big 747 versus a jet plane.
मिनिस्टर साहब पूछ रहे थे कि इस सब का खर्चा कौन देगा.
What?
मेरे ख्याल से फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री को बीच में खोदना पड़ेगा सर.
तुम बात करोगे या मैं करूँ?
आप ही कीजिए सर. क्या कि डॉक्यूमेंट्स भी नहीं है तो मैं अपने यहाँ जाके टेम्परेरी पासपोर्ट्स की बात करके आता.
Oh, okay. This is kind of their first test.
Officer Indian. We all Indian. We got the permission from President Saddam. Officer Indian. We're friends of.
Passport.
क्या बिगाड़ने जा रहा है?
Get back. They would totally shoot that guy.
Kuwaiti?
No, we're not Kuwaiti. No Kuwaiti.
Passport.
Commander Amrita.
2 more people. I want 2 more passport.
All Indian. We don't have passport.
Yeah.
Officer, dollar.
I take your money. I take your wife. She's a Kuwaiti. Let my boys have some fun.
Oh my God.
Oh, he shot his own troop. Where are the other?
Can someone step in and help him off
Grab
the
one
bus?
of those rocks. Oh, the mechanic? Oh, caught him in the arm.
Shot. He's a bowler. Yeah, at first sign of that, I would have ran
A whole bunch, yeah.
in the car. I mean, there's power in numbers.
That's right.
Especially a giant group like that, and they only have so many bullets.
They're
so
gonna
they
rip
know
you
they're
all
done.
apart. So you better let us go.
Drop your gun. And you all can live.
Oh yeah, they would get mobbed. They would literally tear them apart.
Yeah, we want out of this hellhole that you guys are creating. Just leave us be.
आपके लेवल पे नहीं हो सकता मिस्टर कोहली.
छापेकर जी बहस क्यों कर रहे हो आप इतनी? मैंने आपसे कहा ना कि कुवैत डिवीजन में मुझे खुद मिनिस्टर साहब ने.
मिस्टर कोहली, यहाँ अमान की इंडियन एम्बेसी में सेक्रेटरी लेवल पे कंफर्म किए बगैर हम टेम्पररी पासपोर्ट इश्यूज नहीं कर सकते.
वो आया ना सर, तो सेक्रेटरी क्या, मैं मिनिस्टर साहब से ही बात करवाता हूँ आपकी.
They're just pushing their way through.
अब क्या होगा? ये गेट खुलेगा?
What? He got it done.
Well done, Kohli.
That guy's a star.
सब कंट्रीज के यहाँ पे झंडे हैं. इंडिया का फ्लैग किधर है?
एक काम करो, तुम इसे संभालो.
हाथ पकड़ के रखना संभाल.
Yeah, it's very strange. Everyone just standing around.
हाँ मोहन बोलो. हाँ? एयरपोर्ट पे आ गए?
वहाँ वो आ गए हैं और आप प्रोसेस में फंसे हुए हैं महाराज.
मिस्टर कोहली आप प्लीज चुप रहेंगे प्लीज. नहीं मैं कुछ करता हूँ थोड़ा टाइम दे मैं कुछ करता हूँ
Oh, they just swarmed the airport, like even without the approval.
देखिए हम लोग करीबन 1,70,000 इंडियन हैं कुवैत से आए हम लोग और हम लोगों को कुछ नहीं पता कि क्या करना क्या है यहाँ
बाहर जो लोग वेट कर रहे हैं ना वो उसी इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए वेट कर रहे हैं आप भी वेट कीजिए प्लीज
सद्दाम हमारे घर घुसा है और आप कह रहे हैं वेट करें
अरे सचमुच मुझे कुछ नहीं पता है प्लीज
Maybe this is the phone call.
This would be the phone call.
दिल्ली से हाँ बोलिए
Oh, there you go.
हाँ जी सर जी सर ठीक है सर
Now will you take care of us?
Does that mean they're flying to India now? Is that like the?
I guess maybe
the departure board.
Put a flag in the gate you're supposed to enter in through. It kind of seems kind of reasonable too.
Oh, okay, Mr. Drew. That was one of the most awkward hugs I think he's ever had in his whole life.
But it's like Mr. Church is like, I don't know what to say, dude. I'm not gonna.
He's just like, I'm gonna awkwardly just like that was good.
Yes, next.
What are they gonna do about the Kuwaiti?
Yeah.
Ma'am, what's your name?
शाजीन
शाजीन क्या
शाजीन दुरानी
और आप
I thought he would maybe pretend to be her husband.
फर्स्ट क्लास में कौन बैठेगा इकोनॉमी क्लास में कौन
Well, I'll just check on that, sir. Excuse me.
otherwise it's very unfair no
Oh, jeez.
You know, I was thinking that, and I thought that Mr. George would have a say in that. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
They could probably do a few, like, so that, because it's not that long of a flight from Kuwait to, well, from Mumbai, I guess from Mumbai it's a little
Yeah, but
longer.
I mean, it's still, I mean, the capacity though,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, a 747, yeah, 488.
दुनिया में स्केल का रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन न कभी हुआ है और ना ही शायद होगा
और हम अपने सभी लोगों को सुरक्षित वापस लाए हैं
Oh, that guy's a guy doesn't get the proper credit.
संजीव कोहली जैसे ऐसे कई इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स ने ये कारनामा कर दिखाया
Actual headlines and picture.
Wow.
It's interesting.
That must have took weeks. 488 flights? Even if you could do 24.
No, like think about how many flights are taken off, you know, in like an airport. I mean, that's like in a day. Like they can have that many.
488
Sure,
in a day?
from an airport, I bet. Think about how many people are going through in and out airports. Although, I mean, the airport in Jordan is probably not the largest
Exactly.
airport.
And you know, they implied it was 747s, which, you know, definitely, you know, maxed them out.
I love whenever they show like the real images afterward.
Mm-hmm. And like there was limited cell phones in that time, and yeah, just so many things. Wow.
Man, these ones are just always really tough to watch. I mean, it ended on a very inspirational note, which is great because I love that everyone was able to work together. Because when I learned about this in school, they went into a lot of the details about how there were a lot of businessmen like Matuni Matthews, and you know they all kind of came together and did this, but also with like Air India, and there were other airlines too. I mean, obviously Air India was the big one, but other airlines came in and helped as well. And as they said, it was the biggest airlift in human history, and probably will be, because I mean that's
a
lot
ton of people
of
to move.
people to move. Yeah. And it's inspiring to see that many people could like work in coordination and doing something like that. And let's remember that the 90s was a very different time too, right? So there was a lot, I mean, still there's probably a ton of that red tape and whatnot, but I think communication would be a bit better. And social media, could you imagine
that would have blown
there'd be
up on
protests all over the place. Like there'd be protests against the UN.
Stuck? And yeah, you know, and,
because the UN not helping it, you know, because you'd think that hopefully that if it was your country, that maybe the prime minister or someone would step up, the president, whatever, would go to the UN and say like, look, this is what's happening. I need to send some ships to get some people out.
Right.
And so that they don't have to cross over a war zone to get to a place that they can actually get out of, right? So, I mean, yes, with social media posts going super viral.
It would have been so much different, so different, you know, and even internal, the military would have been really scrutinized, and they probably wouldn't had some of the problems up front from the military, because the military would have said, oh, we can't do anything to them because if we even tease them in the slightest, we're going to be looking bad, and they're trying to get legit as far as we control everything and all of that. And that sort of stuff, it helps quell that quite a bit. And but you know, there's still bad stuff that would happen, and it's young kids that are the soldiers that, you know, they've barely been given enough training to handle the gun, but they're a soldier and they're just going to run amok.
Yeah, it's like, look at me, I'm so cool. And that sort of stuff, right?
I'm so powerful. And, you know, we took them over, and and then, you know, the cultural war and so forth that exists between the two. And so, there's a lot of tension, and I could see how it would just be really, really bad.
Yeah.
So,
But the movie was good. Akshay Kumar, I mean, he always surprises me with his flexibility, and whether it's comedy, action, or drama. I mean, he does a really good job. And that kind of like heroic thing, we see him in the two Kesari movies, right? And in both, he kind of like plays this like inspirational, like heroic type without having to like look super like over the top action and whatnot, you know? I mean, Kesari Chapter 1, there was, you know, a lot of violence and stuff, but in Chapter 2, it wasn't like that. It was more.
I like the fact that everyone rose up when he was, you know, he was doing all the fighting. And sometimes it's really interesting. Everybody else is happy so long as someone else is doing the hard part. And they will complain about it, as Mr. George completely show when it doesn't go the way Mr. George wants. But, you know, it was nice to see that everybody got it, that, in order for us to do this, we all need to be chipping in here. And, you know, I got to hand it off to, you know, they showed several scenes of all the women in the kitchen and cooking and everything. That would be a Herculean effort for that many people. So when you saw those big pots and you saw those big, huge rotis, and I was just like, whew. And that would have been a nonstop kitchen, actually, because just about the time that you had finished for the day, you're starting over again. So, you know, there's you know, and even in my mind, I'm like going, 170, even if there was 100,000 people in just their group, that's a lot of people to feed, take care of, sanitation, all of this stuff. And, you know,
the fact that they did it, and that it's like a true story too, because there were like this camp that people were like migrating and moving together. So I mean, it's true. And I mean, when that one scene in the beginning when everything started happening and they were all sleeping in the office, it just reminds me of my family when they came up for holidays one time in New York. I literally only had like a one bedroom, and they're like, no, we'll make do. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, all the guys are gonna sleep in this room, and all the women and children are gonna sleep like in the like open space. And everyone was just like
little
Tetris.
sardines, little Tetris sardines.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, they we made it work. I think there was like in that small space, there was like I think 20 of us.
Wow.
In that small, like we slept 20. Anyway, so it was just kind of like that thing that like, Indians can accommodate and adjust and stuff. And throughout this entire thing, it just showed that. And I really like that how they showed the Mr. George character, because there are a lot of people, and it's not just like in one country in particular, but there's always that one sect of like people that will be part of a community and just be the me first. Because like when he took dibs on the bed and he said, quote unquote, it should be, you know,
First come,
like
first
first
serve.
come, first serve. But he was pushing through all of the people to get first. And he's like, no, I pushed my way to the front.
I deserve
So,
it.
Yeah, I deserve it.
I
it's
crawled
like this-
all over people
yeah,
all the way to get
the self-entitlement for
yeah,
it. And, you know, for him then to give it up, because it's like, okay, yeah, but I wasn't pushing people out of the way, and then I ended up here and you weren't here, and then it's just like, okay, man, like just chill out. But it's almost that self-centered sort of thing that people can get into that mentality,
and
right?
particularly when they're stressed or the situation is not normal, people go into that whole defensive mode and self-preservation. They got to do what they got to do just for themselves. And we saw by comparison, you know, his wife, who was
Amrita.
Yeah, thank you. And she was very locked into, I got to take care of my daughter and my family, and let's get out of here. We're gone. You know,
they had good character arcs, because honestly, the way they were building up his character, I'm like, man, how's this gonna go? He's gonna like, because they already said the government had already like packed up and gone, and then it's like, yeah, dude, like, aren't you gonna be right behind him? But no, and so his character arc, and then it took a little longer for his wife to come around, but then she's like, you know what? I do see it's like we're all humans, right? And I really, so one thing I have to say, I like the music. I like the music a lot in this movie. And I love the progression of it, because in the very beginning, it was very like foreign to India. It was more like maybe Kuwaiti. I'm not familiar with like Kuwaiti, but it was like that, like bazoo or whatever that is, that instrument. And it was like very maybe traditional, like Middle Eastern. But then the next song was more of a blend, and then the next song was more like Hindi and like typical like traditional Indian like music. And then by the time you get to the end, it's like a patriotic sort of like Indian song. And so it's like this progression through the movie, and it was like almost his progression of like thinking of himself more as Kuwaiti. But then as the movie went, it became more and more like traditional Indian, right? So I really liked that, and it just showed his character arc in like the form of music, which I thought was really good. And I mean, the writing was really good, because her standing up to Georgia was like exactly what you'd want to say to a guy like that. It's like, can you not see this?
At a certain point, you know, it's enough. Bus, let me tell you the truth here. Break it down for you. And I'm going to put you on the, as I said, on the rotisserie, and I'm going to roast you.
He was roasted. I mean, there wasn't much left. Now, I have to say one thing, that, so when they got up to the customs and they were getting their passports and stuff, that was a good way to handle it. However, what I thought was going to happen, because we saw Mr. George right behind her, I thought it was going to be a redemption story for him to step forward and say, oh, she's my daughter. Right? And then to welcome her into his family and give her a name. But I do like how it turned out. But I was just almost hoping that there would be, because you saw him behind her, because he was about to say something, and then his daughter's like, oh, like, hey, you be quiet, like that, right? And I was like, was he about to out her? Like, that would have been messed up. So I don't even know if Mr. George's character changed.
You just don't.
But
well,
I would hope to say that maybe he was going to say, no, she's Indian, like maybe like that. But the guy, you know, who was coming up, Ibram, I think his name is.
Ibrahim?
He came up and said that she's
his wife.
My wife.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it was really good, but it was
really good.
So hit me so hard.
That was tough.
Because it's like him giving his like wife's name away, and then it's like, hey, if she's not using it, but he doesn't even know. That hit. But I don't know. So I would have liked either way. The way they did it, I thought was really good. But then I really wanted to see maybe Mr. George say that she's my daughter. But other than that, I mean, this movie was very nice, and it just shows you that you can make a pretty nice movie in this length of time, like just about around 2 hours, and they still had some music in it and whatnot. So it had, you know, the full thing.
Yeah, and I like
for 2
that.
hours, it was a good length.
This was. as they said, this was fictionally based on the event and everything, and they told
based on a true story using fictional characters to embody what the businessmen and stuff that was his character.
And I like that because it really, as we said, we got the feels on a lot of the stuff and the whole process of 170,000 people moving up. That, I mean, in the U.S., that's a good-sized city, and
it's bigger than the city I grew up in the U.S. Like literally, the population of the city I grew up in was 110,000.
Yeah.
So this is more than the whole city population that I was a child in.
Yeah. So that kind of number. And just the way that they did things, and it just made you suddenly think about a whole lot of things, and about people's behaviors, the challenges that you would be faced, the mental things that are going on for people, and how people can get. And so I thought it was really well done to really make something of telling the story, but at the same time also getting you to think about it and feel it, which a lot of times they do these kinds of things, and you're like, it's just telling a story and I'm not really connecting with it.
And I think that's why a lot of people had criticism on this movie, because they're like, hey, you're using fictional characters and you're kind of like simplifying the amount of effort that went into saving all these people, because really it showed this one guy stepping up and taking care of the whole thing, when in reality there were actually a whole bunch of them. Now they did state that at the end, and even in the beginning they kind of gave like a preload to it, but people criticized it, but I think that they had to do it for a cinematic feel, because to connect and understand, if you had like 30 different stories going on of all these different communities that were like all kind of like in their own encampment next to each other and moving as one, but like all these individual people stepping up, I think you would almost see it as a documentary instead of seeing it as like a movie and getting those feels. Like, so exactly what you're saying is, to get those feels, you kind of have to take some liberations a little bit here and there, because it was like, being there in the moment, no one can get that feeling unless you were actually there, right? So to get people to feel that more impactful, you have to be closer to one in particular community to feel the characters and get some development. So I always understand, like, whenever they take some real stories and fictionalize it just a little bit and make some characters just to drive home the fact that you're saying, to really understand what happened and how kind of intricate each one is, and then you just say that is one. Now multiply that by so many, and that's what happened, right? So yeah, I mean, I thought they did a really good job.
And I love the element of how you see that things well beyond their control were constantly coming up. I mean, be it the UN, be it, this little dictator guy.
Facing roadblocks throughout the entire way.
Facing roadblocks, having to have the little sticker, and truthfully, how do you tell Indians from Kuwaitis or anything
Well, yeah, because
else?
like there's so, like nowadays, I mean, especially then, for people that move there, maybe they integrate their lives and families and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, for sure. I mean, especially because once you start getting like northwest India and whatnot, it does. Like, it's like, no, we're Indian, but
So yeah, I definitely, I thought it was really well done. I thought this was a very good movie.
Yeah. And another big thank you to our Patreon executive producer, Tiddly, for this request. It was great, and thank you. We really appreciate it. And please let us know in the comments below, what did you think of it? I know there's other movies like this out there, so if you like this and you want to see more videos like these, more movies like these, then please suggest those in the comments below so that we know what to look out for. And if you haven't yet, and you want to hang out with us some more, then please consider subscribing, sharing, a like button पर थप्पड़ मारो.